Hello everyone. Welcome to Core Learning and Knowledge, your resource for the best fully downloadable online lessons. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on Google. I know what you're thinking right away. I already know how to use Google. Google's easy. Well, it is easy to use for most information, but I'm going to give you some tips and tricks today that I think will really be helpful for you. And at the end of the day, then we have a scavenger hunt for you to be able to go out and find some information from all over the web to test out how well of a searcher you actually are using Google. I'm going to go ahead and start off with an easy question. Okay, how old is Justin Bieber? Now, I can type in the whole question, how old is Justin Bieber? But if you're like me, I want to find my information fast, so I don't want to type out the entire thing. So I'm just going to break it down to some keywords. I'm going to go age of Justin Bieber. Okay, and actually as I'm typing it in, it'll give me a suggestion of what to do, so I don't even have to write in the whole thing. And it tells me right away, 22 years old. Not bad at all. Thank you, Google. That's found a nice, easy answer. Tells me right up here at my Google Answers. I don't even have to read through anything else. Okay, it does give me some other resources like age of other people that are his peers. I can listen on iHeartRadio, all those things. But really, this is just the answer I want to do. So that's pretty easy. Google is pretty easy at giving you just some answers right away at the top with their Google Answers. Okay, what if I want to know, again, an easy question, but it's a longer question and I want to break it down. Who is the Secretary of Defense for the United States? Long question, so I'm just going to break it down to Sec of Defense. Okay, now, I didn't type in of the United States. Notice that. If I want to say Secretary of Defense for, say, Chile, that would give me a different answer. But it knows that I'm in the United States by where my computer is reporting how I'm connecting to the internet. So it'll automatically assume that I'm looking for the United States. If I was doing this search in Russia, it would give me a different answer than I'm doing the search here in the United States. So I actually don't have to write out the whole thing. Who is the Secretary of Defense for the United States? Just go Sec of Defense, which is the abbreviation, and it tells me the answer right away. Now, Google also can do something that's really cool. Say you're doing some math homework tonight. Okay, and you get stuck on a problem, you're doing order of operation, and there's this weird question here. And so I need to know the answer. So I can just type it into Google and it actually tell me the answer and it'll actually show me a little bit of the math. So I'm struggling with order of operations. I can't get the right answer, but here it tells me the right answer right here, negative 45,079. Okay, and it actually shows me here I'm struggling with order operations that I need to do these two numbers first before I do the subtraction, and that was my problem. Now, Google will give you the answer to a lot of your math homework. It'll even do graphs for you. Does that mean that you should have Google do all of your math homework? No, not at all. You need to be able to do your math homework for yourself, but if you get stuck, you can use Google to hopefully help you get unstuck. When you're 6 o'clock at night, your parents can't help you, teacher's not available, you can go on to Google and help you out and say, oh, that's right, I need to do my multiplication before subtraction. Okay, that's what I need to do. And it can help you out, and then hopefully you can do the rest of the homework by yourself. What if I'm doing a report on Germany? Okay, so I want to know capital of Germany. Okay, I want to know that information. But I'm just doing a whole report on it, so I go Berlin. Okay, that's fine. My next question then is, what countries border Germany? What else is around it? Instead of typing it in a new question, I can actually just explore what I have here. So I'm going to click on my map that pops up. So I have Germany right there, but I also want to know then just what countries border Germany. So I have Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Switzerland, Austria, Czech Republic, and Poland. So I can just look for myself instead of typing it in again. Again, I want to access the information really quickly, so I want to use my resources instead of just typing in all the questions right away. And that way it allows me to explore the information a little bit more. Also, at this way, I could say, hey, what are the major cities of Germany? Look, I have Hamburg, Cologne, Frankfurt, Munich. Okay, that would be then with Berlin, my 5 major cities. So I can just click on maps and it gives me some information for my report without having to type in all these just questions. And I can actually explore these a little bit more. Okay, as I go along, I can see some other minor cities, I can see major rivers, things like this that allow me to do my report better. Now, what if I have a little bit harder question for Google? Okay, and I want to do a Google search and I want to know who has won the most Super Bowls. Okay, now I want to know the best Super Bowl teams of all time. Okay, obviously Pittsburgh Steelers has won the most. That's my standard Google answer. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into that information, kind of like I just did with Germany. So I want to know not only who won the most, but maybe the second most, third most, fourth most. So I'm actually going to click right here on Wikipedia. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wikipedia, not a good source. Mr. Luke, don't use that information, right? Usually, Wikipedia is not that great, but with this kind of information, it gets it right almost always. That is, facts, dates, numbers. It doesn't get it wrong that the first Super Bowl was held in Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. That's correct information. This won't get it wrong. Now, if you want specific information about Christopher Columbus, who's a very controversial figure, don't use Wikipedia. But for something like this, it's a pretty good source. And it actually gives me this really cool sorted table here. So I have the most Super Bowl appearances. Okay, we have 4 teams that have appeared 8 times, but I want to know who's won the most. So I'm actually going to click on this little up thing here with wins, and I want to toggle it so that I have the most wins by any team. So I have Pittsburgh Steelers, which I knew the most, but I also wanted to know the other teams that have won a lot. So Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Patriots, Packers, Giants, Broncos. Okay, what if I want to know the information who's lost the most? I can toggle the most losses, and I have Denver Broncos that have lost the most. They've won 3, but they've lost 5, so they've been to 8, and they don't have a very good record. Patriots have lost 4 as well. Vikings have lost 4 along with the poor Buffalo Bills. Both of them heartache teams. Been 4 times, never won it at all. And it actually even gives me the dates of it here. So by diving into the actual websites that give me information, I can have more information than if I just type into Google who's won the most Super Bowls. I now have a lot of information on my fingertips, and this is a case again where Wikipedia is actually a good source of information. Okay, what if I want to know though, I'm thinking Denver Broncos here. Peyton Manning has retired. What's Peyton Manning up to? If I type in what's Peyton Manning up to in Google, it's not going to give me a very good answer. So instead, I want to go Peyton Manning, and I'm going to spell his name wrong just so that you can see a little feature here too. So if I say Peyton Manning, there's 2 N's in his last name, but I actually know in real life, and Google is suggesting that I have 2 N's in his name here instead of just the one that I was typing. So if you have any typos, I oftentimes am just typing so fast I have typos. It'll give you some really good answers here. And actually, hint too, Google's a great spell check, better than like Word or anything like that. It'll give you better results. So if you have a question of how to spell something, just Google it and it'll usually give you a good result. So then I just click on where it's saying showing results of the actual spelling, and I actually want to go right up here to news, which is the same as in the news here, but it gives me more in depth. So if I want to do a news search for Peyton Manning, it'll give me all the most recent articles about Peyton Manning. Okay, I can see some articles here about him visiting the president for the Super Bowl win. I can see an article here 15 hours ago about him and a fellow Denver Bronco, Demaryius Thomas, and how they have made lots of money. Okay, it gives me all this information and tells me just from 15 hours ago. So that's the greatest news about Peyton Manning. I can also use something like images here. If I go to images and I want to know what color is the Willis Tower, what used to be known as Sears Tower. If I just go images Willis Tower, I can see black with white antennas, and I can see it from different angles. Okay, sometimes it has the sun shining off of it, but it's black with white towers or antennas at the top. So if I want to know simple information, I can use the different searches. We've seen maps. Looking at images, we see news, and obviously video. So you can do these instead of just typing in everything into the all search. So these are some tips, tricks about how to use Google search. You have a internet scavenger hunt to complete today. Okay, some general questions. I've broken these down into the most important words so you don't have to write out the whole thing. Especially younger kids, I know that it takes longer to write out, an entire question, especially a really long one. So I want to know just some important information and just type in the underlined words to break it down, and it can give you the correct one. So I can just go to a map of India to find the answer to this question. Now, if you think you are an absolute superstar and you can complete this in 5 minutes flat because you are a Google master, then I also have an advanced internet scavenger hunt for you that has tougher questions, and I don't break it down into the keywords. You can break it down yourself then if you think that you're so great, and you can find out the information here. Now, notice the last question on both is to Google your own name. Please type in your own name into Google, see what it comes up with. It's really important to know what information is out there about you. Maybe you have somebody that has the same name as you that's maybe a famous singer. Okay, that's important to know, or it's important to know if there's wrong information out there about you, or maybe you don't want your information out there, say from a news site or something, and you're a minor. Maybe you can get your image removed. Whatever, it's great to know what information is out there about you, especially if you start applying for jobs, because employers will Google your name and see what information is out there about yourself. Okay, so we have 9 questions from around the internet, and then a 10th question about Googling your own name. Good luck, everybody.